Hello everyone, JR10 Desert Gold. Yesterday I did a short video on the short barreled rifle that I reattached the Holosun 503 to. And it got me thinking that I should probably check out some of these other weapons in there because it's been about 5 years since I've opened that safe, and I should probably be checking on some of these because some of them are very special to me. And I decided to bring out this handsome boy. I'm sure that a lot of you will already know what this one is. This is an M1 Garand. I got this originally from the CMP program, and when it arrived at my house, I opened the case. It was, in essence, a pile of junk. The only thing I kept from it was the stock, and I'm going to explain that. I wanted to get something special, and I thought I was, and it wasn't at all special in the condition it was in. So I took the rifle apart and I got rid of everything except the stock. The stock I kept, and actually it's a very important part of this rifle. This stock dates back to 1944, and that was the height of the Pacific campaigns. And also there was still some action going on in the European theater. But the reason this caught my eye was that the stock had a cartouche on it, and that cartouche is a stamp that the DOD inspector puts on after he's inspected the rifle. And the stock, this cartouche is a stamp from an inspector's named Earl McFarland, and he was an inspector between 1944 and 1945. If you look at the cartouche, you'll see at the top, you'll see SA, which stands for Springfield Armory. Below that, you'll see an E McFar, or McF, I guess, and that stands for Earl McFarland. And to the right of that cartouche is another cartouche with the cross cannons. There's also one that I didn't, I think there's another one. Yeah, there's another cross cannons on the grip of this stock. So in that, this was a 1944 stock. I went on a buying spree, and I did searches for everything that was period specific for the 1944 M1 Garand. I replaced the bolt, I replaced the sights, I even found a barrel, a brand new barrel that was still in the Cosmoline from 1944. Let me tell you, if you ever try to take Cosmoline off of anything, you're earning whatever it is you got, that's for sure. Anyway, so the barrel is 1944, the stock is 1944, the receiver is also 1944. If you look at the back of the receiver, it has a stamp, and it's the stamp reads U.S. Rifle 30 cal M1, and then Springfield Armory, and then below that is the serial number, which indicates the number that were produced in that 1944, and this one is a 28 million stamping, and that makes it the 1944 receiver. I even bought or located a 1943, unfortunately I couldn't find a 44, but a all-leather 1943 sling. Trigger is 1944, the trigger group. Everything in there is 1944 except the sling and some other odds and ends that I couldn't find yet. So this took me to refurbish just the stock, took me almost a year. It was very challenging not to destroy any of the cartouches that were on the stock and try to maintain the colors and finish of a rifle in that period. So I really got fixated on this bad boy, and I started looking around for other things that I could add to the entire package, and I went hunting for the bayonet for the M1 Garand, the M1 bayonet. I couldn't find a 1944, but I did find a 1942. And you can tell it's authentic because, one, it's got the look of an authentic 1942. It's all marred and fingered up on the hilt. But there's the exploding cannonball on the base of the blade and the date 1942 on it. So it's legit, and the scabbard is also legit. Interesting point, I don't know if you can see it on camera, there's a groove that runs down the middle of these bayonets, and the theory behind that is it provides a channel for the blood to drain off the blade after you've taken care of business, so to speak. So that fits on the rifle perfectly. And I started looking for old ammo. This rifle shoots 30-06. They did make, I believe they made a 308 version, but that was after the war, if I'm not mistaken. But these are 30-06 rounds in an end block. And I did, and I was able to get some an authentic bandolier with 6 end blocks in it, and it's well worn, and there's still some information on it, but these are legit too. Yeah, I got involved. I tend to do that with everything I do, and I'm glad I did it with this one because it's a beauty. Anyway, that concludes the gun version, or rifle version I should say, of this part. And now what we're going to do is we are going to do a speed brew. I decided to take the Legonitis Pinter IPA kit, and I'm going to see if we can brew it up in less than 5 minutes. I'm looking at about 3 minutes as a good target, but speed brewing, it's never heard of that one. Anyway, let's get over to the kitchen and we'll put that together, and we'll have our Legonitis ready to put in the fermenter, hopefully in less than 5 minutes. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so this is probably going to be the fastest brew you've ever seen. This is the Pinter Legonitis Something Easy kit, and we're going to be putting that in. The only other ingredient that I'm putting in, I did mention in my previous video that I was going to add an extra pound of DME, and in doing some research before I did this, I found out that the modern production of DME doesn't require boiling anymore. Now, for somebody that's been boiling for years, I was kind of skeptical, but you know what? I'm going to make an experiment out of this. This is the 1 pound. It has not been boiled. All I'm going to do is add the DME and the Legonitis Flash Brew, which is this, and it'll be done. Oh, well, I'll have to add the yeast, of course. But let's see how this all goes. Okay, the DME's in. Now we will add the brew kit. Let's see how she goes. Well, you can smell the hops, that's for sure. Yeah, you want to try and get as much out of this as you can. As expensive as it is, you don't want to waste anything. Alright. I got quite a bit of water to add, so we're going to do that. My system is filtered. Alright, I just put the dock on, and it went on without any cussing or straining of any type. It just slipped right on, which is always appreciated. You got to admit that this was pretty quick. All I did was pour stuff in and add the yeast. Now let's get it right side up. There you have it. It's called speed brewing, and I love it. I'm just going to set it on the brew table and let it ferment at room temperature, which is going to be about 81, 82 degrees. And we're going to have another IPA in about 10 days. All right. Everyone have fun, be safe. There's a gold out.